we are back here in the Stroh Center in Bowling Green for more Falcon volleyball. As tonight, the Orange and Brown will look to take on the Akron Zips and a matchup between two teams that are fighting for a spot in the MAC tournament. I'm Andrew Smith of the Falcon Media Sports Network, and I'll be back here tomorrow night on WBGU 88.1 FM to cover the second match of this two-game series between the Falcons and the Zips. Be sure to check out all content relating to Bowling Green Athletics on bgfalconmedia.com and on BGFMSN on Twitter, X. And also, check out the Zig Zone, a sports talk show where a panel of FMSN analysts will discuss everything related to BG Sports every Sunday, starting at 4 p.m. Both these teams are coming into this match at 7-7 in conference play, and therefore are tied for fifth in the MAC, although Akron does hold the tiebreaker currently because they beat Miami earlier in the season, and Bowling Green just lost to the Redhawks. So this game is going to have huge tournament implications regardless of who comes out the victor. The Falcons are coming off of two straight losses to Miami, like I mentioned, in Oxford, where BG was swept in that second match, and they just didn't play themselves, had more attacking errors than they had kills. 27 attacking errors to 24 kills. The last time that happened was back in 2012. So Bowling Green looking to bounce back in a huge way just before the MAC tournament again begins, looking to win out in these last four matchups. These first two here against Akron, and then the next two against Buffalo in Buffalo. On the opposite side of things, the Zips are looking to do the exact same. However, they are currently on a 5-game winning streak. They will look to build on that streak tonight and further it against the Falcons and hand the Falcons another loss at home. Would be their third loss at home this season after dropping 2 against Ball State in a 2-game series against the Cardinals earlier this season. Akron also lost to the Cardinals. Everybody this season seems to be falling to the Ball State Cardinals. They are currently in first place in the MAC and look to be the favorites to win it as of now. Last time out, though, the Zips faced Eastern Michigan, where they went to 5 sets in their first match against the Eagles, won that one, and then swept the Eagles the next day, much like how the Falcons took the Redhawks to 5 sets the first day, and then were promptly swept by them the next on that Saturday last week. So the Falcons looking to bounce back, the Zips looking to build and continue the momentum. Keys of the match tonight for the Falcons are going to be getting their blocking down. The blocking against the Redhawks last week was unimpressive, to say the least. The Redhawks now lead the MAC over the Falcons. After going into that series, the Falcons led the MAC in blocking. Now the Redhawks do. The Falcons are averaging 2.4 blocks per set. Got 242.5 on the season as a squad. But again, Miami did pass them up as the MAC block leaders because they blocked not necessarily poorly in the first game, although it wasn't where it should have been, not to their usual standards, but they blocked very poorly in the second match. 4 blocks to Miami's 9. Falcons also were obviously outscored, outkilled, had a hitting percentage as a team of negative .029. They got outdug, out-service-aced 4-1, out-assisted, and out attacks, which is not typical. Falcons are typically the squad doing the most attacking, having the most total attacks. But in this one, they got outswung 105-97. So Miami really just dominated the Falcons in that last match in every statistical category, and they deserved to win that one. The Falcons didn't play to their own standards. They didn't play how they should play. So how do you bounce back against an Akron squad that offensively has been a great force in the MAC so far? Second in points, third in hitting percentage, second in assists, second in kills. and 4th in service aces. Falcons are 5th in service aces in the MAC, are 5th in kills, and 5th in hitting percentage. So Akron, statistically at least, a better offensive squad. The Falcons will look to prove that wrong, and the Zips will look to get their offense going. Most of that offense going through who is going to be their main player tonight, Delaney Gash. She has led in, I believe, every game this season for the Zips in kills. Led the last game against Eastern Michigan in that sweep. She had 17 kills. The 5'11 sophomore from Lexington, Kentucky. 17 kills on 50 total attacks on a .28 hitting percentage. In the first game, in that 5-setter against Eastern Michigan, she had 70 total attacks. They are not afraid to feed her and continue to feed her all game long. And the Falcons need to prepare for that. That's where that blocking comes into play, because they're going to go to the outside a lot. You know this. You need to prepare for it, but they're also a great service acing team. I mean, Vanessa Del Rio already has herself 40 service aces on the season and has more service aces than she does service errors, which when you have 40 service aces, it's difficult to have more errors, but she has 35 errors on the season. So really impressive statistics coming out of her, not only from behind the line serving, but also in the digging department. She's got 402 digs on the season, which leads all squads, because it also leads the Falcons, because Sydney Hernandez, and I say only like it's only, but it's 388 digs for the sophomore libero for the Falcons. Hernandez hugely stepped up in that first match of the Miami series. Had another 20-dig game. Played incredibly well. She's gotten so much better. The jump from her freshman to her sophomore season has been phenomenal. Not to mention Avery Anders had 14 digs in that first game as well. The two of them really played fantastic. The back row played really well in that first match. They're really what got them to that 5 sets. They couldn't replicate that performance the next day. Still a good game, but just not the same one that they did that first night, which is difficult to replicate because of how well they did. But they'll just need to see better attacking and better blocking out of the front row, which is not something you typically say about the Falcons, because typically it's the front row outplaying the back row, but the roles were reversed in this past series against the Red Hawks. So can the Falcons get back on brands and get the attacking back down as they face off against the Akron Zips. The Zips, like I mentioned, obviously going to go to Gash, but they also have great players really around the floor. You have Gabby Brissett, a senior who transferred from Bellarmine for last season in 2024 and has since played great for the Zips. She's got 171 kills so far this season. And she's another option for them to turn to on the right side. Another weapon that the Zips have on offense is Chidera Ozo, the middle blocker. And she's got herself 137 kills and 108 total blocks, 17 of those being solo blocks so far this season. She didn't play in 2024, but she has been an offensive and a defensive weapon for this Zips team, on a team that isn't exactly the strongest defensive team, but also definitely not the weakest. You can't count them out. They're 7th in total blocks, 8th in digs, and 9th in opponent hitting percentage. So again, not the best, definitely on the below average side of things, but still a good defensive squad, and is not to be taken lightly. And like I said, the offensive output, especially by Delaney Gash, is incredible. She's got 393 kills in the season. Nearly eclipsing 400. The leader for the Falcons is Avery Hobson, who has 319 now, albeit the Falcons have a lot more attackers that they cycle in, try out, and Avery Hobson has not exactly been on the floor near as much as Gash has. Or rather turned to as much as he has. They're kind of equal in sets played, but again, Gash, 70 total attacks. Hobson, in a 5-set match, rarely gets over 50. So, a lot more attempts for Gash, but that's not to discredit her. I mean, 5'11" with 393 kills on 1,171 total attacks is nothing to scoff at. And she's got a .182 hitting percentage to boot. So a great all-around player, not to mention 211 digs and 34 total blocks. So a great all-around player that can go out and do some real damage to a defense if they're not ready to block her. She can hit to anyone on the floor. Got a nice cut, a deep line shot. She's a smart hitter. She'll, despite just being a sophomore, very smart hitter, will tip and roll on you all day long if you're not prepared for it. And she can pick a team apart. But like I said, not the only weapon on the floor. And the setter of the Zips knows that. Martina Villani, from the junior from Milan, Italy. She's got herself 994 assists this season, as well as 32 service errors. So a great server as well, in addition to serving up assists. She knows she has weapons. The Falcons also have a great setter in Amanda Otten, who's back and playing again. Wasn't able to lift her team to victories against Miami, but did get the sweep against Toledo. So we shall see who is going to come out victorious in this one. Will it be the Falcons bouncing back after a heartbreaking 5-set loss and a sweat defeat against the Miami Redhawks in Oxford, or will it be the Akron Zips continuing their winning streak to 6 games and cruising on into the MAC tournament? We shall see here in the Stroh Center right after this. And welcome back here to the Stroh Center. And the Bowling Green Falcons are taking on the Akron Zips. The Falcons starting lineup being announced right now here in the Stroh. And we got the starting lineups for you here on the Falcon Media Sports Network. Starting for the Akron Zips, we have Vanessa Del Rio. We have Vanessa Del Rio starting at the libero position. We have Martina Villani starting at the center position. We have Riley Chaussee at the defensive specialist. Jarin Morgan, another defensive specialist. Delaney Gash at the outside hitter, mentioned her in the pregame. Lindy Wolf at the middle blocker position, along with Chidera Ozo. And for the Falcons, the typical starting lineup for this season: Sydney Hernandez at the libero position, Jessica Andrews Jessica Andrews at the right side, Avery Hobson on the outside, along with Edita Veslavchik, Helen Wilford will be at the middle position. Oh, excuse me, Jessica Andrews is back to middle. First time for the Falcons this season, she's back in the middle position. Jessica Andrews is going to go back to her home, really, at middle blocker, along with Helen Wilford. Avery Hobson will still be an outside hitter. Maren Dunaway on the floor as well. Outside hitter. And Amanda Otten will be setting. So we'll see the rotation will look like for the Falcons as this game goes on. But as it stands, back to serve is Jaron Morgan for the Zips to get this game underway. The grad student from Florida tosses this one up, and here we go. As Veslovchik digs it out, Otten sets it up to Jessica Andrews, who rips it off the block and gets the Falcons their first kill of the match. A nice quick 1-2-3. That's great to see after the Falcons struggled to do just that, as now Avery Hobson will check out and Anastasia Bozic will check in. Hobson looks to be playing the right side position in this match here today. Bozic puts this one over. Now the Zips on the attack, attacking with Lindy Wolf on a slide attack, and that's going to go off the Falcon block and touch the antenna. So things will be tied up here in the first set, 1-1 to get this game started. Wolf will now serve. She puts it over. It's dug out by Veslovchik, set by Otten to the outside to Dunaway, and Dunaway is going to hit the antenna. Set looked a little fast for her liking. Still needs to find a way to get that one over, though. Wolf now drops this one in, and Bozic has trouble with it, and it's going to be a service ace for Lindy Wolf. The freshman from Fremont, Ohio, has gotten herself 23 now service aces on the season. She drops this one in, and it will be out of bounds. Just misses the line. Bozic let it go. That'll be a point for BG. 3-2 now the score in favor of Akron. Avery Anders will now serve for the Falcons. Tosses it up, puts it over, drops it in nicely. And the Zips handle it well. An outside shot from Delaney Gash. And she cuts through the D and gets herself a kill. 4-2 now the score. Martina Villani, the setter, will now serve for Akron. She's dug out by Anders nicely. Otten now cross court to Veslovchik, rips it off the block, and Veslovchik gets a kill. Jessica Andrews will now serve for Bowling Green. Puts this one over. Dug out by Gash. Set by Villani. Gash with a rip. Gets it off the block of Veslovchik, and it's going to fall out of bounds. So 5-3 now the score. Another rip by Gash. They turn to her a whole lot, and it's for good reason, because she gets kills despite all the attention from the defense that goes to her. Now a quick 1-2-3 from the Falcons back to Veslovchik, and she gets herself a kill right away. A very fast-paced offense there from the Falcons. Wonder if they saw that they were getting blocked in the Miami game and decided to speed things up, as now Akron's going to swing over. Dug out by Anders. Now Veslovchik with another attack, and Veslovchik with another kill. Gets a one-touch off the block. And now things are 5-5 here in the Stroh Center in the first set, as Amanda Otten serves it over. Gash digs it out, not nicely though. Del Real bump set, swung on, but the Falcons dig it up. Now Veslovchik on the attack. She's going to drop it in. Eddie rolls it into the circle, avoiding the block on a set from Sydney Hernandez that was over her head. Amanda Otten will serve again. Puts it over. Dug out by Del Real. Set now and slung on. Up the middle is Ozo. A quick swing by her. And a kill for the Zips. 6-6 now, as Del Real will now serve, and Del Real will get herself another service ace on the season. ups the count to 41. She'll serve again. Got Avery Anders on that one. It's not going to get Vesvopchik because now Avery Hobson, a little bit of movement going up the middle, but Akron digs it out. Now a swing from Brissett, but that's going to be blocked. Kept alive, though, by Akron. They're going to get another attack again to Brissett, and this time she gets it through and finds the floor. 8-6, Akron leads. First set of action. Who's going to take the 1-0 set lead here? Del Rio serves it over again. Vesvopchik digs it out. Otten to Hobson. Hobson unable to get it over. Otten set a little short. Looking to go cross court to Hobson on the outside. This is a new rotation for the Falcons that they're trying out, trying to make it work. As Otten now will go cross court to Hobson. Again, she's going to rip this one off the block, and this time she's going to get a kill. Give her something within her reach. Avery Hobson will most likely produce a kill out of it, leading the Falcons in that category. Struggled in the last game against Miami. 1 kill, 5 attacking errors on 8 total attacks. Vesvopchik puts a serve over. Akron keeps it up, probably shouldn't have because it was going to out. They're blocked on their attack, but they're going to get a recycle and a swing from Wolf, and Wolf's going to get a kill. Tipped off the block. Falcons unable to recover it. And 10-7 is the score in favor of Akron. Looking to hold on to this lead. Riley Chaussee, the defensive specialist, back to serve, puts it into the net. And that'll be a point for the Falcons. That's only her 14th service error on the season as opposed to 20 service aces. Doesn't commit those often, so the Falcons will need to learn to turn this into an opportunity and get these points back. Sydney Hernandez unable to, sails it long from the service line, and 8-11 the score. Zips still lead. To serve is Jaron Morgan. She'll toss this one up, float it over. Marin Dunaway digs it out, but poorly, an overpass. The Zips put it back down, and 12-8 is the score for the Akron Zips in the lead. Served over again. Vesvopchik digs it out. Otten now sets back to Hobson. Hobson gets a kill. Drops it in the back line. BG making a few mistakes early on, but the attacking has been much better. The blocking still feels like it's behind, though, as Bozic now serves it over. Gash digs it out. She's now going to attack. Vesvopchik tries to dig it out, unable to get there. Just a light roll from Gash to the middle of the floor. No Falcon able to get there. Zips currently outkilling the Falcons 8-7. As Lindy Wolf will now serve this one over the back line. And 13-10 will be the score. Avery Anders now back to serve for the Falcons. She'll toss this one up, put it over. It's dug out by Chaussee. A swing up the middle by Ozo. And another kill for Ozo. The 2 times they've turned to her, she's produced a kill. Akron not going to really look to their middles unless they get a perfect pass. That time it was a perfect pass from Chaussee. And so that's exactly what they did. Went up the middle and got a kill. As now Vesvopchik with a big swing. And it's going to result in a point for the Falcons. Akron unable to handle it. Their third touch going out of bounds. 11-14. Zips still lead. Akron looking to take that 1-0 match lead here in the first game of this two-game series between the Falcons and the Zips. Jessica Andrews now. Another service error. Service errors currently plaguing both teams. 3 for Akron, 2 for the Falcons, as now Akron leads 15-11. Immediate timeouts called here in the Stroh Center. We're going to take it with them. You're listening to Falcon Volleyball here with the Falcon Media Sports Network. We're back here in the Stroh Center for more Falcon Volleyball between Bowling Green and Akron. The Zips are up 15-11 over the Falcons right now. Looking to close out this first set, take a 1-0 match lead. Back to service, Delaney Gash. Gash, 13 service aces on the season. We'll look to get another, but it's dug out by Avery Andrews. Now Vazrovchik on the swing, and Vazrovchik with the kill left by Del Rio. Regrets leaving it, and it falls in. Head coach Tyson Norton of the Zips. 4th season at Akron as head coach, trying to coach up his blockers. As now an attack here from Gabby Brissett on the right side of the court. Gets a kill for the Zips. A beautiful swing by her. Brissett, like I mentioned in the pregame, 171 kills on 430 total attacks. The Falcons botched this serve. Their third touch is going to go over the antenna. And so the score is 17-12 as Coach Del Piombo will call timeout. We're going to stay right here and talk this one out. Akron's up in this first set, 17-12. The last time the Falcons lost a set to Akron was 5 matches ago. The last 4 matches between these two squads, BG has swept the Zips. BG's currently on a 10-game winning streak against Akron. And against the Zips, they're 25-9 at home. So we shall see if the Falcons are able to keep that winning streak alive here in this one tonight. Doesn't look like they're going to keep that no set loss streak alive here as they're down 5, 17-12. Here in what's becoming the late goings of this first set. It's a struggle here for the Falcons. The serve receive is struggling a little bit. This is a good serving team in Akron. 4th best in service aces in the MAC. As Del Rio, the team leader, with 41 service aces on the season, including 1 tonight, will put another one over. This one's dug out by Hernandez. Up the middle now with Wilford, and the Falcons try to put that one down, unable. The Zips are going to get it back over. No one's there for the Falcons. Cindy Hernandez pancakes it to keep it alive. Somehow the Falcons get it back over, but now it's going to be swung on by the Zips from number 8, Maureen Matthews. And she is going to get a kill. Tips it off the block. 18-12 now the score. As Del Rio puts another one over, and Del Rio gets another service ace. Her second of the night and 42nd on the season. 19-12 the score, and Del Piombo calls her second and her final timeout of the set. Can the Falcons recover? We shall see, or will the Zips continue on to victory? It's looking increasingly likely here in this first set. You're listening to Falcon Volleyball, presented by Falcon Media Sports Network. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what's expected of me. you can't post silence. But I also don't know what to continue on about. I only have so much to say as a one-man show. We're coming back. And welcome back to the Stroh Center. As the Falcons are taking on the Akron Zips, down in this first set, 19-12. Down by 7. Falcons have swept the Zips in their last 4 meetings. Doesn't look like that's going to happen here tonight, as Vanessa Del Real has been giving the Falcons fits from the service line. Already 2 service aces to her name tonight. Puts this one over, drops it in. Avery Andrews digs it out. Otten now to Vazvavchik, who tips it over. Now set up for the Zips on the opposite side of the court. They're going to swing on it, but it's going to fall out of bounds. Not touched by anyone on Bowling Green. Scoreboard reading 20-12, despite the Falcons. No, not the Falcons in the last point. It was touched, excuse me, and it will be a point for the Zips. 20-12 is the score. Del Real is still back to serve. She puts this one over. This time she puts it out of bounds, so the Falcons get out of the jam, but not before Del Real did some serious damage. 13-20 is the score. Can the Falcons mount a great comeback? Or the Zips going to put this one away as they reached 20 points. Vazvavchik to serve. Drops this one over. Dug out by Matthews. Now a swing from Brissett that goes out of bounds. Barely, nearly hit the corner, but it falls outside of the line. And Vazvavchik will return to the service line. She puts this one over. Tries to drop it in. Matthews digs it out, set up and swung on by Matthews, who's going to get herself a kill. Got it off the Bowling Green block and down. The Bowling Green block still struggling after the Miami series. At what point are they going to be able to turn it around? Riley Chassé now serving for the Zips. She puts it over. Hernandez digs it out. Otten sets up Dunaway. Dunaway rips this one off the block, but it's kept alive by Del Real. Now just put over in one, but Dunaway bumps it right back. Zips are going to be in the net, though, trying to punish the Falcons on the overpass. Maren Dunaway, 2 overpasses by her. Looks to just be panicking a little bit, but the swing, that second swing by her did look good. Sydney Hernandez now puts a serve over. Dug out by the Zips, swung on by Gash, and Gash is going to get herself another kill. 22-15 the score. Falcons still down by 7. Can they cut off of the Zips and put a few points together? We shall see. Zips put this one over. Otten now sets Jessica Andrews. She rips it, but it's kept alive. As now Gash on the slide, and Gash with the kill. 23-15, and the Falcons' comeback hopes have been erased. As a comeback here would be nearly impossible. Maren Dunaway digs this one out. Otten to Hobson. Hobson on the swing. Kept alive by Del Real beautifully. Now a tip over by the Zips. Falcons keep it up. Anders swings on it. Now the Zips with a swing that's blocked. They get another attack. Roll it over the block this time. Now Dunaway on an attack. She's going to go off the block and down. A point for the Falcons. BG makes the score 23-16. Bozic will check in. Anastasia Bozic has 5 service aces on the season. 12 errors from the line. But has been a great tool for the Falcons to come in as a pinch server, as an outside hitter, and is a defensive specialist. As the Falcons will take this point here, blocking the Zips attack, and it somehow finds the floor on their side of the court. Got tipped around quite a bit before falling. 23-17. Bozic puts another one over. This time Del Rio digs it out. Villani tries to just swing it over on a setter dump, but the Falcons keep it up. Now a swing from Delaney Gash. What a rip as she puts that one down and puts her team at set point here in the first set. 24-17, and the Zips have all but put this one in the record books as Wolf puts this one over. Otten sets Dunaway. Dunaway with a rip, kept alive by the Zips, but they're blocked at the net. Gash is denied by Otten and Andrews. That's a duo that Falcon fans have missed. On the block, and they put that one back down. That could be a spark for the Falcons in the next set. Avery Anders serves this one over. Now, the attack from the Zips kept alive by the Falcons, but dumped over. So it's going to be a free ball for the Zips that Gash swings on. Avery Anders somehow keeps alive. Bozic now bump set to Vazrovchik across court. She rips it off the net. Didn't touch anything but the top of the net, as now Otten will set her again. Rips it off the block, kept up by the Zips. Set by Villani to Gash, who's blocked again. Zips unable to save it. 24-19 the score. Falcons building themselves momentum for the second set. Don't think they're going to be able to pull this one out regardless, but they'll go into the second set with momentum on their side. Avery Anders puts this one over, nearly a service ace, mishandled by Gash, but she'll swing now on an attack. Now Otten will dump it over. Zips barely keep it alive. They're forced to free ball it. Otten now sets Vazrovchik, who rips it off the block and gets a kill, and the Falcons reach 20. And the Zips now are forced to call timeout. Coach Norton has seen enough, wants his team to take a breather, reset, and get this one last point that they need. I think they will get it before the Falcons can get four of their own. But the Falcons are on a tear right now. Like I said, building that momentum back, putting it back on their side here in the Stroh Center, trying to come back after going down by 7 points in this first set, and also come back after a showing that is not up to the team's standards against Miami and Oxford. It was one of those things where in the sweep against the Red Hawks, it was like the Falcons were moving in slow motion, and the Red Hawks were just at a faster pace. They took advantage of all the Falcons' mistakes, swung well on their own, and just made that game impossible for the Falcons to get anything going. But the Falcons have something going here, and if they don't win this set, which still probably won't, they'll go into the second set feeling like they can win that one. As Avery Anders puts another one over, tries to drop it in, dug out by Akron regardless. Now a swing by Gash, and Gash gets a kill. And that's what Akron was looking for that whole time, and they finally get it. 25-20, the final score of the first set. Could have been a lot worse looking for the Falcons, all things considered, but they put a run together, saw what the momentum looked like shifted in their favor, and they'll carry that into the second set. We'll take a break here. You're listening to Falcon Volleyball here on the Falcon Media Sports Network. Welcome back here to the Stroh Center for the second set of action after the Akron Zips have gone up 1-0 in this match over the Bowling Green Falcons. First set decided 25-20. But the Falcons built momentum at the very end of that set, just unable to fully make the comeback as Vazrovchik will serve this one over. put it in play, and we're underway as Gash will take a swing, roll it over, and put it out of bounds over the back line by about a foot. And the Falcons will take the first point of the game. Of the second set. Lazvachik will serve again. Put this one over. Dug out by Gash. Set by Villani. Swung on by Wolf. As now the Falcons will respond with a Dunaway swing, and Dunaway will peel it off the block, and it falls out of bounds. A nice job tooling the block by Marin Dunaway. As Vazvapchik will serve again. And now an attack from Gash on the outside, rolls it into the basket and gets a point of the board for Akron. A quick 1-2-3 working there for the Zips. Now serving is Wolf. Puts this one over. Sydney Hernandez smartly lets it go. And it will fall out of play over the back line. As now 3-1 is the score in favor of BGSU. Hernandez will now serve. She puts this one over. Villani sets up Ozo up the middle. Falcons block it, but Akron gets a second attack. Falcons somehow managed to keep that alive. Marin Dunaway will now swing, trying to drop it onto the back line, but missed it by about a half a foot. It was over and untouched. So 3-2 now the score. The Zips will take that point. Villani back to serve. The transfer from Monroe College for the 2024 season has been a great setter for the Zips all year long here, as she gets herself a service ace and ties things up 3-3. She's gotten 994 assists this season, as well as now 33 service errors, and just having a great season overall. As the Zips will get another point, as Avery Hobson will try to swing a poor set from Amanda Otten over anyway. It tips the pole, and it will be 4-3 in favor of Akron. As this serve by Villani will hit the tape and drop in. Amanda Otten's unable to dive and get it. Unlucky for the Falcons, but a great break for the Zips as they take a 5-3 lead. Tough to recover that ball after it hits the tape like that. Hobson will dig out this serve. Dunaway will now swing. She goes off the block. It's saved by the Zips. Del Rio will now set to Gash, and Gash will get a kill. Delaney Gash with a swing and keeps this scoring streak alive. A 4-point scoring streak for Villani at the line. As now Dunaway will tip this one over. Gash keeps it up. Now a swing from Brissett. Dunaway responds, and Dunaway gets a kill off the block. Tools it again. Akron's unable to save it. 4-6 the score. Zips still lead. Avery Anders will go behind the service line. And put this one in play. Puts it over. Del Rio mishandles it, but it's kept alive by Brissett. Now a swing from Ozo. Falcons keep it up. Jessica Anders now with a rip. Akron manages to keep it alive off the block. Now Anders to Otten to Dunaway. Dunaway with a swing. Del Rio touches it, but it goes over her head. Now Brissett into the net. 6-5. Falcons take that one. Anders serves again. Her serving has really taken a step in the right direction this year as she puts this one over. Gash digs it out, but it's overpassed Dunaway tries to swing on it unsuccessfully. Gash now with a rip that's kept alive by Vazvovchik. Now Dunaway on the attack, and Dunaway is going to get a kill. Somehow manages to roll that one through and get it to the floor. And the score is tied at 6 here in the second set. Akron up in the match 1-0. Anders continuing to serve. Drops this one in. Gash digs it out. Ozo now on the attack, and she gets a kill. Jadera Ozo with a nice rip. Finds that back line up the seam between Hernandez and Vazvovchik. And the score is 6-7 here in the Stro. Amanda Otten now to Jessica Andrews, who tips it over. Now Akron on the attack. That's tipped up by the BG block. Now Dunaway with a swing and Dunaway with a kill. What a rip by Marin Dunaway on a quick attack. A nice set from Otten as well. Dunaway currently leading the Falcons with 14 total attacks. Vazvovchik leading in kills with 7, but Dunaway has 5. As Bozic now will serve for the Falcons, puts this one over. Dug out by Gash, swung on by Ozo up the middle, and Ozo gets herself another kill. She jumps so high, my goodness, just 6 feet tall at the middle position. But gets so much air jumping to swing, and has been really effective here. As Avery Andrews digs out this serve, a set by Jessica Andrews. Vazvovchik rolls it over. Now on the attack is Brissett, and on the kill is Brissett. Wow, what a swing. She's got some bounce as well. Puts that one down, 7-9 now. Akron leads it. Del Rio puts this serve over and out of bounds over the back line. 8-9 now. Helen Wilford checks in. Jessica Andrews will now go to the service line. Falcons have been tried this out during the Miami series. Andrews got a service ace in the first match of that series. Then had a service error in the second, but it looks like she might get it. No! Saved by Del Rio. And the Zips are going to get it over in 3. A nice serve, though, by Andrews. It's Otten now with a setter dump. Falcons going to get another free ball. Where are they going to go? To Wilford, who swings, but just misses the floor out of bounds. 10-8. The score in the Stro. Akron leads. Brissett checks out. In checks Matthews. And to the line goes Chassé. She puts this one over nicely. Bozic digs it out, though. Wilford now on the attack. Tips it over. Touched by Villani. Looked like Chassé could save that one. But it fell to the floor. A tip kill for Helen Wilford. 9-8 now. Reads the scoreboard as Amanda Otten will serve. She puts this one over. It's dug out by Gash, set by Villani to Matthews, who gets herself another kill. Matthews coming into this game, 254 kills on 699 total attacks. Is an absolute weapon for this Zips unit, as now Bozic will attack out of the back row. Look to drop that one in. Anastasia Bozic somehow manages to get that to work. Just rolled that one all the way into the corner. Akron unable to save that. And it'll be a point for the Falcons and a kill for Bozic. 10-11 the score. Bozic ripped that one out of the back row on just a rainbow roll that dropped on that back line. Villani now will set to Wolf up the middle, but she is denied by Marin Dunaway and Helen Wilford. Not a tandem we're used to seeing on the block, but a welcome one, as things are all tied up at 11-11. Edita Zvapchik will now serve it over. Gash digs it out, but not well, though. She'll be on the attack, though, here. Tries to make it work, but it looked like it fell out of bounds. Line judge says it's in. Everyone that's a BG fan in the Stro sure thinks that one was out. No challenge from Del Piombo, though, as Wolf will now serve. Dug out by Dunaway. Otten sets Hobson. Hobson gets herself a kill. Goes down line. And that'll be her third kill of the match. Quiet so far. 3 kills on 7 total attacks. But it doesn't take much to get her going. Hernandez puts this one over. Del Real digs it out. Swung on by Gash. This time Gash misses the floor. No touch from the Falcons. And the orange and brown will take the lead. 13-12 here in the second set. Down 1 set to none on the match. Hernandez will put another serve over. This one will be a service ace. A great serve from Sydney Hernandez. And that'll be her 29th service ace on the season, leading the team in that category. She puts this one over. This time it's dug out nicely. Gash on the attack, rolls it over. Somehow Falcons trying to keep it alive, but Hernandez unable to get a clean second touch on it after it was rolled over. And it will fall to the floor. So 14-13 will be the score. BG still leads. Thanks to the serving of Sydney Hernandez. As Villani will now serve for the Zips. Hernandez digs it out. Otten to Andrews, and Andrews with a kill. Villani upset with herself that she was unable to dig it out. It came to her, but a difficult position as it was right at her chest. It's hard to dig that ball out. And the Falcons will lead at 15-13 going into the media timeout. We'll take this timeout with them. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to BG Volleyball here on the Falcon Media Sports Network. Oh my goodness. My voice is going to be so tired. I feel like we haven't called any timeouts. Coming back in 3, 2, and 1. And we're back here in the Stro Center for more Falcon Volleyball here with the Falcon Media Sports Network. As the Falcons have taken a 15-13 lead here in the Stro Center. Down in the match, though. 1 set to none to the Akron Zips as Avery Anders will serve it over. Gash will dig it out. Del Rio will bump set back to Gash. She's blocked. Falcons keep it up. Otten set to Dunaway. Dunaway on the swing. Dunaway getting out of bounds. Trying to rip it off the block. Misses the fingertips, though, and it falls out of bounds over the opposite side of the court's line. So 15-14 now. Falcons still leading. Akron trying to make a quick comeback, but not going to be helped there. As Delaney Gash drops this one just over the back line. That's her 40th service error of the season. as Bozic now will serve for the Falcons. She puts this one over. Now on the attack is Brissett. Brissett swings, gets the tip off the block. Bozic reaches out one arm but doesn't dig it out cleanly. That'll be a kill for Brissett. She's got 5. Gash leads the Zips with 9. This serve goes over, swung on by Jessica Andrews on the slide. A true slide this time because she's back at the middle blocker position. A more comfortable look for the Falcons with her return to that spot. And what a kill there. An absolute rip as she will now serve. Put this one over nicely. Zips managed to tip it over, but the Falcons now a chance to attack with Vazlavchik with a swing. Goes off the block. Anders tried to keep it up, but a nice block there by Brissett and Wolf. They put that one back down, and 17-16 will now be the score. Riley Chaussee will now serve for the Zips. She puts it over. Bozic digs it out. Otten sets to Vazlavchik, who's blocked. Snuffed out. And erased by Valani and Wolf. As Chaussee will put this one over. Bozic will dig this one out. A return to Eddie. This time she rips it off the block, and this time she's going to get a kill. Tells the blockers that she's not afraid despite getting blocked 2 times in a row, and gets the kill. Zips currently out-killing the Falcons 26-21 and out-hitting them percentage-wise 288 to 286. As a rip there by Gash is going to result in the kill. Came all the way over here to the scorer's table. A nice catch by Kevin Hutchinson sitting next to me. Right in the recap. You can check that out on BG Falcon Media later today, or I should say tonight, as the Falcons get a quick 1-2-3 up the middle to Helen Wilford, who's going to rip that one and get herself a kill. We don't see a lot of rips like that out of Wilford, but it's a pleasant surprise when we do, as 19-18 will be the score. Vazlavchik will now float this serve over. Gash will get another attack, and she'll rip it down the line and get herself another kill. Ties things back up at 19 points apiece. Who's going to reach 21st here in the second set? As Wolf will put this one over. Dunaway is going to dig it out. Set by Otten, back to the middle, and Wilford. This time she tips it over. Gash now on the attack. She's dug out by Vazlavchik. Now Dunaway will swing, and she'll be blocked at the net by Ozo and Valani. The blocking of the setter of the Zips has been phenomenal here in the late part of this second set, and Akron takes the lead, and they're going to extend it with a service ace from Lindy Wolf. And it's going to be a timeout for Coach Del Piombo. 21-19 the score. Can the Zips hang on and make it a 2-0 lead here in this match? Or will the Falcons come back and tie things up at 1 set apiece? We'll find out here in a minute. You're listening to Bowling Green Volleyball here with the Falcon Media Sports Network. We're back here in the Stroh Center as the Falcons look to come back down 21-19 here in the second set and down 1-0 in the match. Serving is Wolf. Hernandez digs out her serve. Swung on now by Hobson. That's dug out by the Zips. A great dig. They tip it over. Otten digs it out, but it's an overpass, so a free ball now, as Gash will now roll it over. Falcons now with a chance to attack. Hobson now swings on it, looking for the line, not going to get it. 22-19. No touch by the Zips. Falcons will need to go on a run if they want to win this second set. Wolf, Dunaway digs it out. Now Hobson with a swing, dug out again by the Zips. Gash now puts this one over. And the Falcons unable to put it over in 3, and 23-19 is the score. Another timeout from Del Piombo. We're going to keep it here as the Falcons falling again, 23-19. They'll need to go on some sort of a run somehow, some way to get back in this one. Akron's threatening to put them down 2-0 in the match. This game has huge MAC tournament implications. If the Falcons lose either of these matches, they could end up possibly out of the tournament. They need to win out, but right now they need to focus on winning this set. Or more specifically, this point. They need to take it 1 point at a time, get back in this thing, and bounce back. Just hasn't looked like the same team that we saw in non-conference play, and that can be attributed to the absence of Lauren Hovey. But really, this team still looked good without their best hitter and without the 2024 MAC Player of the Year. But once Amanda Otten went down in the Toledo game, they've struggled to win. Otten now will set Dunaway, who's blocked yet again by Villani. 24-19 the score. Falcons can't get out of this rotation. Dunaway digs this one out again. Now Otten will turn to Hobson, and Hobson will get a kill. 24-20. Very similar setting to the first set. But can the Falcons pull this one out? Or will the Zips take it again and go up 2-0 in the match? Hernandez to serve, puts it over. Del Real digs it out, set by Villani to Gash, who swings on it. Hernandez keeps it up. Goes down to the middle to Ozo. Otten digs it out. Hernandez now bump sets Dunaway. Dunaway tips it off the block, and she's blocked again as that one falls to the floor and tried to tip it away. Doesn't work. 25-20 the final score of the second set. Akron's up 2-0. They're looking to close this one out in a sweep. Falcons looking to stay alive here in the third set that we'll see here in just a few minutes. We'll be back here with more BG Volleyball here on the Falcon Media Sports Network. And welcome back here to more Falcon Volleyball in the Stroh Center with the Falcon Media Sports Network. The Falcons are down 2-0 against the Akron Zips. Both teams 7-7 in conference play. So this is a huge tiebreaker with the MAC tournament looming. Hosted here in Bowling Green, so it would be a major fall from grace if the Falcons were to win the MAC regular season and earn the honor of hosting the tournament, only to not play in it. Some changes made to the lineup for the Falcons. Ava Buttlemeyer and Kendall Williams are looking to check in for the Falcons, as well as Belle Lauby. Will also seem to be in this rotation here. The Falcons struggling, but it's definitely not from a lack of effort from this coaching staff. They've done everything in their power to get a rotation that works, that feels comfortable, that wins them sets, that wins them matches. And sometimes it's worked, but most of the time it has not so far. We'll see if this new rotation works with Otten, Andrews, and Buttlemeyer starting in the front row. Was Vovchik, Hobson, and Hernandez in the back. Serving is Jared Morgan for the Zips. On the floor for them is Del Real in the back row, along with Chassé, and the front row of Wolf, Gash, and Villani. As the Falcons will get a quick kill, a 1-2-3, Jessica Andrews with another nice kill back at the middle blocker position. As Isabel Lauby will check in to serve here. Checking out is Buttlemeyer. She puts this one over. Gash digs her out. Set by Villani to Wolf on the slide, but Wolf misses her swing. It goes over the back line of the Falcons side of the court. 2-0 now. Falcons lead it. As Lauby will serve again. Drops this one in. Dug out by Gash, but an overpass. Falcons going to get a free ball. Otten with a nice setter dump. Looked exactly like she was going to serve that one up for Vosvopchik. Instead, dumps it over the net. A signature move of hers is the Falcons now up 3-0 here in the third set. Down 2-0 in the match, however, so a long way to go if they want to recover. But they block this attack from Gash. She's going to get it back. This time she rolls it over. Lauby with a nice dig. Vosvopchik now on the attack. Tries to go line. Going to get a touch. And therefore, she's going to get a kill. Tyson Norton immediately shaking his head and challenging that call. Doesn't think there was a touch. I might be inclined to agree with him. I don't think that there was a touch by the block. The back row certainly didn't touch it. We shall see as the referees go ahead and take a look at it. Referee David Barnes over at the scorer's table looking it over. As the Falcons are currently up 4-0 on the scoreboard, could be up 3-1 if this challenge by Norton is successful. But regardless, leading in this set so far, the issue is keeping that alive. They went up 6-2 in the first set in that match. They got swept by Miami in Oxford in their last time out. Looked great to start the match and then quickly fell off. So the trick is keeping this early momentum going throughout the set. Is this finally going to be a rotation that ends up working for the Falcons? The trick tonight has been handling the serves. Del Real and Delaney Gash both serving incredibly well as Villani and Wolf for the Zips, all serving very, very well and giving the Falcons an incredibly hard time trying to get things up. Jessica Andrews, what a night she's having. Back at her middle position, 4 kills on 8 total attacks for a .500 hitting percentage. And it will be a point for the Zips, so 3-1 is the score. There was no touch as Wolf goes to the service line. She puts it over. Hernandez digs it out, not well. Otten forced to bump it. Hobson out of the back row. Tries to swing on it, but it goes into the net. And 3-2 will be the score. This serve by Wolf has really been hurting the Falcons. Hernandez digs it out there. Otten now sets Vazrovchik, who rips it off the block. Kept alive by the Zips. Gash will swing it over. Hobson keeps that up. Otten to the middle, and Andrews. That's off the block. Falcons keep it up. Vazrovchik now on the attack and drops it into the corner. And the Falcons get out of the rotation and the serve that they struggled with at the end of that second set. And the score is 4-2. Falcons down 2-0. The reverse sweep, the only way to win this one now. Avery Anders to serve. Puts this one into the net, and 4-3 is the score. Despite putting that one into the net, Avery Anders has been serving much better in these past few games. Typically prone to committing a lot of errors. She's really limited them in the second part of this MAC season. As now Hobson will get an attack for the Falcons. She'll swing it down the line. It's dug out by Villani, but goes way out of bounds. And so the Falcons will take a 5-3 lead. As Hernandez checks out, Andrews goes back to serve. And Kendall Williams, the freshman middle blocker from Grand Blanc, Michigan, will check in. Andrews puts this one over, drops it in. Gash digs it out. Now Brissett on the attack. Falcons receive it well, and now Hobson rips it off the fingertips of the block of Brissett and Ozo, and is going to get a kill as it careens out over the back line, and 6-3 is the score. Andrews serves again. This one she tries to drop in again, targeting Gash. Now an attack from Ozo, and she rips through the block of Kendall Williams. Kendall Williams going to have to take a minute here. As a middle, it's difficult to get your block timing down, especially if you've been sitting on the bench for 2 sets like the freshman has been. Ozo's also a junior, so she has the experience on her. We'll see how that matchup fares as this match goes on. As Hobson now on the attack, and Hobson with a kill for Bowling Green. Simply tips it past the block and drops it in front of the 10-foot line. Worked out nicely for her there. 7-4 now. Otten to serve. Can Bowling Green maintain this lead? They could not maintain the small lead they built in the second set as Otten sails this serve out of bounds by a few feet, trying to target that opposite corner of her, started on the right side. Falcons going left to right over your screen, I suppose, not radio dials, as I usually say, because I believe I'm just going to be on YouTube. As now a nice set by Otten, cross court to Hobson. She returns to the line shot and gets a kill that way. And Vazrovchik checks in for Anders. Bozic checks in for Hobson to serve. And the front row now is Kendall Williams, Ava Buttlemeyer, and Edita Vazrovchik, with Bozic, Otten, and Hernandez in the back row. Del Rio, Gash, and Matthews will serve-receive for the Zips. Matthews receives this one nicely. Brissett now tips it through the block, gets it by going line. Hernandez unable to dig it. That one was really close to the net. Brissett's only option was to tip, and it worked out well. 8-6 now. As returning to the service line is Riley Chassé, another player who's been serving well today, although this one's dug out nicely by Hernandez, and Kendall Williams now on the attack will swing and get a kill. Kendall Williams with a nice kill on her first attack of the night. Falcons lead 9-6. Sydney Hernandez will serve, puts this one over, nearly gets another service ace, but Chassé dug it out. Now on the attack is Gash. Hernandez digs that out. Vazrovchik now just rolls over the attack. And now a swing from Matthews that's dug out by Bozic. Otten cross court to Vazlavchik, who turns line. That's dug out by Chassé. Now Matthews on the attack again. This time she just rolls it over. Bozic now will set to Vazlavchik. Swing and a kill! Delaney Gash reached over her head to dig that ball out from the back row. Most likely would have fallen out of bounds. She didn't want to take that risk. Would have been close. And instead it touches her hands, falls down, and the Falcons will get the point. But the Zips will take it right back as Cindy Hernandez sails this one a little long by about a half a foot. And so 10-7 will be the score. Falcons still leading by 3. Jarin Morgan will serve for Akron. She puts this one over. Bozic digs it out. Otten now back set to Buttlemeyer, who swings on it. Blocked, but it's going to be recycled now. Vazlavchik with the swing and with the kill. Putting it down. The Polish hammer. What a swing. Coming into this match, she had 202 kills on the season. Tonight, she's got 11. As now a swing from Gash is going to get dug out by Hernandez. Otten will set Vazlavchik again. She'll try to swing again, but this time she's denied by the block of Akron. Lalani and Wolf teaming up to shut that one down. Wolf will now serve. Laube digs it out. Otten now sets Vazlavchik, who swings, looking to get a kill, but it's dug out by Akron. Gash now on the attack. She's blocked. Tries to pop it right back up, but Akron's forced to just give the BG a free ball. Jessica Andrews now on the attack on the slide, and she gets a kill. Swinging past the block. A nice cut shot by her. And 12-8 the score. BG leads. Avery Anders will serve for the Falcons. She drops this one in. Dug out by Chassé. Now Gash on the attack, and Gash gets herself back in the scoring column. Was a little quiet in this third set. Quiet no longer. She's got 12 kills on 33 total attacks. They are feeding her, as per usual, leads her team in both those categories. Anders digs out this serve, and Otten throws it down practically. Basically dunked that ball. That's the best setter dump I've seen her have. What a beauty. Jessica Andrews will serve this one over. Barely kept alive by Akron. Tried to get over in 3. They will, but it's going to be a free ball. Otten setting Hobson. Hobson with the swing. Kept up by Akron off the block. Villani's out of the play, though. So now Gash on the set from Del Rey is going to get a kill. Another rip by Gash. 13 kills for her now. Falcons leader is still Eddie with 11. Anders digs out this serve from Gash. Otten now to Hobson again, and Hobson's going to get a kill. A beauty of a swing by her, avoiding the block and putting it down. 14-10. And now we're playing some real volleyball here. It feels like both teams are in a bit of a groove as Otten drops this one in, and Otten's going to get the ace. Akron can't get it over in 3 touches. And now we head into the media timeout with Bowling Green up 5, 15-10. First time they've led heading into the media timeout tonight. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Falcon volleyball here with the Falcon Media Sports Network. And welcome back here to the Stroh Center, where the Falcons are up 15-10 here in the third set, down in the match, 2-0. I'm Andrew Smith of the Falcon Media Sports Network, and you're listening to some Falcons volleyball as they try to bounce back after dropping 2 matches to Miami last weekend in Oxford. Akron with a nice tip play, but a nice diving dig by Avery Anders. She's going to dive out again and get another dig. Hobson now on the attack. This is dug out by Gash off the block. Now a swing by Matthews. Anders dives again, but is unable to save it. Anders has incredible hustle. More so than anybody on this Falcons team, really, besides maybe Sydney Hernandez. As Del Rio puts this one over as Buttlemeyer on the swing up the middle. That's tried to be kept alive by Del Rio, but not going to work out. Nearly hits the referee standing at the top of the podium. And the Falcons now lead 16-11, keeping that 5-point lead. Bozic will now serve for the orange and brown. Falcons wearing their orange jerseys with the brown text, while Sydney Hernandez is rocking the white. Del Rio on the other side of things is also rocking the white jerseys, and Akron is in their navy blue with the gold text. As now Veswatchik will try to get a tip kill to work, but she's going to just tip it into the net. Leaves it short. 16-12 now. Falcons leading by 4. Serving is Chaussee. She'll drop this one over. Bozic digs it out. Otten now to Buttlemeyer on the back. On the right side, and she's shut down by Wolf. Wow, that was straight back down. Looked as if Akron was kind of expecting that one. Bozic now digs another serve out. Otten sets cross court to Eddy. Eddy will miss her swing. Falling out of bounds. Falcons need to somehow get a reset. They're up 16-14. But that lead was 5. It is now 2. They'll need to get something going here and in a hurry to maintain the lead. Akron, though, loving it. The serve by Chaussee really throwing the Falcons off. Kendall Williams now up the middle, and she'll get a kill for the Falcons. There's a good way to reset your offense. She'll check out now for Jessica Andrews. And Sydney Hernandez will return to the service line. Hernandez puts this one over. Wow, nearly a service ace, but a nice dig by Chaussee. Now Matthews on the attack. Blocked by BG, but it's going to fall on their side of the court. And so it'll be another kill for Matthews. She's got 6 here. As now serving is Jarin Morgan. The grad student puts this one over. Dug out by Veswatchik. Now Buttlemeyer on the attack. She's dug out by Del Rio. Now on the attack is Gash, and Gash is going to get a kill. Drops it in on the far right side of the Falcons' court. 17-16 lead is now just 1. Morgan puts another serve over, dug out by Bozic, set to the middle to Andrews. That's dug out by Del Rio. Now a set to Wolf on the slide, but Falcons dig it out. Now Veswatchik will tip it over. Del Rio digs that one out again. Now attacked by Gash, who's blocked. Try to save it is Akron, but they're not going to be able to get it over in 3. Bobbling around at the net. 18-16 the score. A nice job by Otten and Andrews shutting down Gash. Belle Laube now serving again for the Falcons. Puts this one over. Del Rio digs it out. Now Gash rolls it over. Sydney Hernandez keeps it up. Bozic bump set to Veswatchik. Falcons just managing to get it over. Gash on another attack, a line shot. And Laube tried to dig it out but couldn't. 18-17 the score. Falcons still leading. Zips trying to tie things up off the serve of Wolf. Hernandez digs it out. Bozic now will set Vazwavchik, who goes off the block. Falcons recycle now to Andrews, and Andrews with a rip and a kill. Down the line, Jessica Andrews on the slide. 19-17, Falcons lead. Avery Anders to serve. Puts this one in. Dug out. Swung on by Gash, but the Falcons block it up. Oh, not a great dig by Hernandez, but Hobson's going to get a swing out of it anyway. Zips dig it up nicely, and now Gash on another swing is going to put it down. Holy, what a swing. Puts it on the 10-foot line. 19-18. BGSU still up. Villani will now serve. Anders digs her out, but Otten's forced to run to go get it. Hobson now in the swing with a rip by Hobson off of that sort of set. Gash now tips it over. Jessica Andrews puts it back over. Somehow manages to block a slow tip. Not even sure how she managed to do that. Just hung in the air. Put it back over. 20-18 now. The score. VG leading. They've reached 20 points first for the first time tonight. Andrews now with a nice serve. Gash dug it out. Now she's going to get to attack. Rolls it over. Hobson digs that one out. Otten now back to Hobson. She puts it off the block. Kept up by Akron. Now a swing by Reset. Reset is going to go off the block and out of bounds. It looked like it went off the block. Well, off the net and then off the block. And just spiraled up in the air and fell out. So 20-19 now the score. Gash will serve. Puts this one over. Laube digs it out. Otten to Hobson. Hobson on the swing. Drops it in. Puts it on the back line. Norton will challenge again. Says it's out. Norton looking to see if that ball was in or out. We're going to keep it here. Falcons have taken over in kills here, 41-39. Leading in attacking percentage right now as well. Excuse me, no, Akron's still leading in attacking percentage. 2.86 to the Falcons, 2.45, but very close in that category. Total attacks is tied at 98. Falcons have more attacking errors, 17-11. Have more assists, however, by a small margin, 39-38. More digs, 39-37. Akron has taken over in the blocking category with 14 blocking assists as a squad to the Falcons 6. Zips also leading in total points, 53-47. They've won both of the previous two sets, 25-20. Bowling Green looking to make this a 21-19 match. If it were to go Akron's way, it would be 20-20. It looks like the referee has come to the decision. He's talking with the scorer's table now. Whose point is it going to be? It's going to be Akron's points. The ball did drop out of bounds. 20-20 the score. As serving is Delaney Gash for the Zips. She now has 16 kills on 43 total attacks with 5 digs. And a service error. No ace for her yet. Drops this one and nearly gets it there. Overpass held by Belle Laube, but Belle Laube keeps it up on the attack from Akron on the overpass. Now a swing that goes off Kendall Williams' head and back over the net. Another attack by Brissett's kept alive by Anders. Now Hobson on the attack, rips it off the block and gets it down. Somehow, some way, the Falcons come out of that with the point. Never should have happened, but Belle Laube, a nice recovery after overpassing, digs out the attack from Akron off of that overpass, and the Falcons now lead 21-20 of a kill by Hobson. Otten puts this one over. Now on the attack is Matthews, and Matthews with a rip past the Otten block, and Hernandez got a hand on it, but was unable to dig it cleanly. 21-21. A tight set this has become as Del Rio puts this one over. Anders digs it out. Otten sets to Hobson. Hobson with the swing. Brissett keeps it up off the block. Now a swing by Matthews, dug out by Anders. Otten now sets to Hobson again. She swings. She's blocked, but it's recycled. She's going to get another attack. Swings again. Del Rio keeps this one up. Now Villani to Brissett, and Brissett with the kill. 22-21. Timeout. Coach Del Piombo. Falcons trailing by 1. For the first time in this third set, they trail in the match 2-0. Will the Akron Zips sweep over the Falcons, stay alive, and force a fourth set? We shall see. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more BG Volleyball here with the Falcon Media Sports Network. And we are back here in the Stroh Center for the end of this third set. 22-21, Akron leads. Will they get the sweep? Del Rio is to serve. Hobson digs her out. Otten now to Buttlemeyer, who's just forced to set it over. Not a great set by Otten. As now a rollover by the Zips. Falcons force just bump it over and drop it in. Avery Hobson manages to get that one to work. The Falcons get a point off what should have been a free ball. Hobson just bumped it over tightly to the net, and the Zips were unable to dig it out. Things are tied up here at 22. Hobson to serve. She puts it over. Dug out by Matthews. Now a back set to Brissett. Brissett's kept up by Otten. Now Buttlemeyer on the attack. She's going to swing it off the block. Brissett keeps it up. Now Villani to Matthews, who's kept up by Hernandez. Otten now to the back row, and Hobson puts it in the net. The score, 23-22. Akron leading. As now Chassé will serve. Anders will dig it out. Otten out of the middle, and Kendall Williams. Kendall Williams puts it over. Now the Zips on the attack, and that's going to fall to the ground. The Zips are at match point. Timeout, Alex Del Piombo. 24-22 the score. The Falcons will need to put something together to turn this around and force a fourth set. Or the Zips are going to put this one away. The Falcons, if they lose today, would absolutely need to win tomorrow and win against Buffalo in those next two matches at Buffalo in order to make the MAC tournament. Again, to make the MAC tournament, which they are hosting here in Bowling Green. Can they pull this one out? Down 24-22, they return to the floor after the Del Piombo timeout. They need to get 2 straight points. Chassé to serve has not committed. Oh, she has one service error so far today. This one, though, she drops over nicely. Otten now to Buttlemeyer on the swing. Kept alive by Akron. Now on the attack is Matthews. She rips it off the block. Hernandez keeps it up. Hobson bumps it to Buttlemeyer. She swings off the block. recycles it. Now going to be a bump over from Otten, kept alive by Akron this time. Now Matthews on the attack, and that's going to be a kill for Matthews, and the match is over. The Zips sweep the Falcons. 25-22 the final score here in the third set. The Falcons lose another. Their second loss in a row by means of a sweep. And their third straight loss. And Akron continues their winning streak to 6 games after winning 2 against NIU, 2 against Buffalo on the road, 2 against Eastern Michigan, 1 against Buffalo on the road, 2 against Eastern Michigan, and then winning here tonight. They'll look to make it 7 tomorrow, and the Falcons will look to get their revenge on the Zips tomorrow night back here in the Stroh Center. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with a quick post-game and hopefully a post-game interview with Coach Chelsea Carter here with the Falcon Media Sports Network. And welcome back here to the Stroh Center for one final time here tonight. Again, be sure to tune in tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the next match of this 2-game series against the Akron Zips. Falcons losing here tonight, 3-0 on a 3-game losing streak now. How do they respond? How do they bounce back? And can they still make the MAC tournament? That is to be decided. The Zips, though, looking to turn this win streak into a 7-game one tomorrow night and looking to continue their winning right into the MAC tournament hosted here in Bowling Green. I'd like to give a couple shout-outs. Obviously, no one on the broadcast with me tonight, but a quick shout-out to Tyler Kavitz and Lucas Kleinmeyer for giving me these opportunities to be on air and to have these opportunities to cover Bowling Green Volleyball, as well as Carl Smith and BG Volleyball for allowing me to cover the team. And that's going to be all here for us tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow, 4 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM for the second game of this 2-game series. But that's all for tonight. Falcons fall to 7-8, a losing record, and Zips improved to 8-7. That's all for me, Andrew Smith with the Falcon Media Sports Network. Good night, and I, Ziggy.